it makes a lot of sense for us to be part of anything Richard's part of, especially something where we can support the local community and utilize the knowledge that we've gained over the last several years and apply it in a scale that is manageable. And I think it's going to be easy to get started. And I think that's the best part about all this.
Welcome to Richard Haw's YouTube channel, which looks at what we can do today to make Hawaii Island a more sustainable place to live so our children and grandchildren and their grandchildren won't be priced out of here and will be able to stay in Hawaii and live good lives here. Today, our guest is Emily Emmons, who is the founder and executive director of Ho'ola Farms. That's an organization in Hilo dedicated to serving Hawaii's military veterans, their families and caregivers, and community members in the hopes of creating a more sustainable and thriving future for all. Welcome, Emily. It's so nice to get to talk to you today.
Aloha. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We're happy to have you. Now, I understand Ho'ola Farms is a Hawaii Island nonprofit. You provide hands-on agricultural training. You've got the Hilo Food Hub and commercial kitchen. You run a Hawaii farm-to-car online farmers market. Emily has empowered hundreds of people and their families to reconnect with the land, grow their own food, and build pathways toward self-reliance and community resilience. And that works very well, doesn't it, Richard, with what you are always talking about and working toward?
Yeah, and so I'm really excited to have her on this podcast this morning. For me, it started in 2007 when I went to the first of 5 Pequot conferences. From there, I knew that we really need to take care of ourselves here out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Overall, tell me, Richard, what do you think about what Emily is doing?
I like it, because it's actually being done. It's not just talk, because we have a lot of ideas. Everybody has ideas, but actually what is being done, you can see it.
It's real.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And Emily, before we talk about some of the more specifics, tell us first about Hawaii Veteran Services and how this whole thing came about.
So my husband is a combat disabled veteran. And so our journey started really more on a mission to heal and connect for our own family. The health benefit for our own family was great, but the opportunity to be able to share that with our neighbors was a benefit that was unintended and a huge benefit to both myself and to my husband, who was reconnecting and learning how to create community again after a long time of being at war. And so that seed was planted for us. And we were inspired and thought, my husband was an elementary school teacher before 9/11, and 9/11 really inspired and changed who he wanted to be. And so again, as we were healing from that same war, we wanted to reconnect and be able to educate and connect with other families to be able to share the experience of healing that we felt from growing food and the benefits from that and how that could be beneficial for others. So really it started with the intention to grow more community around the wellness and the health benefits of growing food for veterans and their families, and maybe active duty as well. But it was during COVID when we realized that we were part of a greater network, a group of nonprofits across the state of different food distributors, including Costco and other big food distributors. And we were on a virtual call talking about how we were going to be part of food distribution during COVID. Things were changing, how we were going to connect with farmers and get that food out to consumers. And I realized 2 really important things that day. And one was that no one was coming to save us. There was no solution that was already on the table, and there was no A, B, and C that we were to follow. And secondly was that we all were part of the solution. Everyone on that call was part of contributing to what became part of a solution for our islands and the state of distributing food and finding new ways and new networks and new systems in order to distribute food throughout the state. And it's a beautiful example of how when we put our thinking caps on and decide that we're part of the solution, each and every one of us, how we all become part of what can be part of a more beautiful, more connected, more supported future. So adding Hawaii Farm to Car was an important part of what Ho'ola Farms is all about, not just educating people how to grow the food, but where to sell and distribute that food. Where are supportive markets that can support week after week these small scale farmers to learn how to scale up and how to learn what kind of market is out there and who's ready to support it. So now, 5 years later, they were selling maybe 10 heads of lettuce lettuce, and now they're selling 300 heads of lettuce a week because they're able to trust and have been able to scale up in the marketplace.
Now, I want to talk to you more about Hawaii Farm to Car. I was very excited when I read about that. So you have an online store sort of where people can go in and make purchases. They can buy locally produced vegetables, meat, eggs, cheese, baked goods, value-added products, plants. I couldn't believe all the things on that list. And then on Wednesday afternoons, they can pick up their order in Hilo, Kea'au, or Pepe Keo. How many types of products? How many farmers? What is the scale of this?
Gosh, we started with about 50 farmers in 2020, and now we've scaled up where each week we have about 130 farmers selling on our site. And
Wow.
that does change and vary depending on the season, and partly because you don't have to sell with us all the time to be a producer. If you have a lot of avocados that go off once a year, you may sell avocados and your lemons with us and only sell for, 6 months of the year, for example. So we want to be available for those small scale farmers and those who are looking to scale up and become bigger producers. We would love for them even to scale up and out of being able, growing and now selling to Costco or Safeway or HPM or wherever the next marketplaces might be. So we're part of helping them scale up. They also have the chance to learn. Is it a pound that they need to be selling? Should it be a half pound? What does packaging and labeling look like? How do they make sure that it's properly food handled before it goes out to the consumer? So those are all things that we're able to help with the technical assistance and support for those farmers to really feel confident in growing their own brand. Which is a really important part for us.
And how much business do you get? How many people take advantage? Is there some sort of metric you can tell us so we get a sense of how
Well, yes. So again, we started with about 50 customers a week, and they were buying between $50 and $60 a bag. And now our average sale is about $10,000 in sales a week. So the average shopper is spending between $80 and $90 a week in their bags, and we have about 130 shoppers a week. We also support SNAP and the Bucks, which are two really important programs for our community and really help support our local farmers and producers with federal funds that help ripple and really make a significant impact in our community.
So if someone wants to check this out and get involved and see if they want to make some purchases, tell us how they would do that.
Yes. So they can log on to hawaiifarmtocar.com and they shop Friday mornings, 10 a.m. through Monday at 6 p.m. Our farmers market is live, and we do that because the farmers have an opportunity to post their items, and that that's fresh and what's available just this week. And then Wednesdays, the market closes at 6 p.m. About 6:30, the farmers get their pick ticket. And that means that they know what they've sold this week, which means they are only pre-harvesting and washing and bringing in for sale what they've already pre-sold. So there's no extra waste for the farmers, and they don't have an extra waste of time either in, harvesting goods that won't be able to be for sale. So they drop it off Tuesday afternoons with us at the Hilo Food Hub. We check it in and then pack for customers, and then it goes out for distribution or pick up in Hilo on Wednesday afternoons. So it's just that simple, and it's beautiful to be part of the process. You're also welcome to volunteer. We have a couple different volunteer opportunities, and we love having people come and be part of the process. I think it's really important now more than ever to welcome people to be part of the solution. And I think Hawaii Farm to Car is one of the most simple, effective ways for anyone in the community to be part of the solution today, right now. They can order from, like I said, 130 farmers. You can pick anything you'd like on there and know that your purchase today is making an impact for someone right in your community. And I don't know where else you can go where you can know that you can make that kind of impact. And we also do have a couple of locations for Kapuna as well. So that's something that would be specified on our website.
And you're delivering to Kupuna residences, is that right? Tell us about that.
Well, at a couple of the low income housing residents. So it's not at individual homes right now. We're hoping to be able to do that in the future, but right now we're at least getting it to the residents' homes.
Yeah.
We're trying to do whatever we can.
Have you tried that, Richard? Have you ordered from there? We'll have to do it. We'll have to try it.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Okay, tell us about the Hilo Food Hub. So that's an incubator kitchen.
So the idea behind the Hilo Food Hub and commercial kitchen is to be able to turn those raw goods into added value products. This is another part of the food chain system that is necessary in order for that raw good to turn into an added value product that can turn into real economic benefit in the future for producers. So we really felt like this was a missing piece of the puzzle. And again, another addition during COVID that we added in order to keep that part of the business going. There was a business at the time and they were stepping away to start new ventures. And so we were able to step in and keep the Hilo Food Hub going, which is how we originally got it. Since then, we've been able to grow. We have about 30 clients each month that use our kitchen. And we have actually a really easy process for signing up with all of your records, and it's all online on a website, and you book all of your hours and when you want to be in the kitchen, all from online. You see who else is going to be in the kitchen, so there's never any conflict. And we have freezer space, shelf space, dry space. We have a lot of shared equipment that you can use, and we often host master food preserver classes and other opportunities, agribusiness development and added value class business development in order to support that incubation part of the Hilo Food Hub. It's open to actually any small business in the community. So we also have a lot of food trucks that use our facility. If you need commercial kitchen permit, then we're your first stop.
Oh, that's great. Now tell us about your Victory Gardens for Veterans. I thought that was really interesting. So you actually bring everything to a veteran who wants to do this and set up a garden for them?
That's right. So we bring a small scale raised bed out to the veteran's home. Included in that is the soil amendments and starter plants that are ready to plant, along with an instruction manual, a watering can, and a gratitude rock. And we plant the garden together, and then we make sure that the family is all present, and we just take a moment to recognize the service and the sacrifice of the veteran and their family, and let them know that they are part of our family now, of our ohana, and that their service and sacrifice matters, and that this garden is a connection to us and to that community, and that they can find resilience and hope within the garden. And I'm proud to report that about 8 veterans not only have gotten a Victory Garden and gone on to participate in multiple other classes that we've posted over the years, including the 6-month Go Farm Agriculture Training Program, and are now selling on our Hawaii Farm to Car site. Many of them are also members of the Hilo Food Hub or have come and gone from there at some point. It's beautiful to see what grows from that. And I would point to this picture of people behind me, and these are all their ideas and their dreams that have turned into careers and businesses that they can be proud of.
How many of those veterans gardens do you think you've done?
We just passed the 50 Victory Garden mark. And I'm proud to say this isn't Victory Gardens, but we just sold $1 million in local produce too, through our farm to car market in the last 3 years.
That's amazing.
And that's the ripple effect of, again, local support, just deciding where your money goes each day.
Yeah.
We all have the choice. So we all get to be part of the solution.
Right.
There's so much to learn about agriculture, especially in Hawaii, that exposure was the best way forward for us to be able to share experiences with folks. So our model is 1-day classes that are free, and folks are able to come and gather and learn a little bit about what is coming next. And then we host 4-week workshops that are focused more on specific topics of shared interest and potentially business focused. They're a little bit smaller classes, and you end up being with a group of up to 10 folks in each cohort, and you get about 4 weeks of experience and exposure to different modalities. So you really learn a lot more within those 4 weeks, and you also build a network of like-minded folks after the classes that end up sticking together and collaborating or continuing to be friends after the workshop. So that's also a nice community fostering aspect.
I was also really impressed to see your Cow for Keiki program. Tell us about that.
We're so grateful for so many partners, honestly, throughout our community, and Vibrant Hawaii has been one of them in helping to distribute additional funds throughout the community, which Cow for Keiki is part of. So we've been member or participants in that for the last 4 or 5 years in helping to distribute summer feeding program out to local families each year. When we 4 years ago were trying to do Cow for Keiki, it was hard for any of our farmers to be able to scale up to produce 100 bananas, let's say 100 hands of bananas, along with our market orders and other demand that they had. But now, 4 years later, we're in the position where those same farmers now have the ability to scale up and not just do 100 hands, but now we're doing 300 hands a week in addition to our 130 orders. So those same farmers have been able to scale up and trust the market weekly. So when these summer projects come up or these feeding programs come up, there's an opportunity for them to be ready to support those with local produce instead of saying, I'm sorry, I don't have enough because no one's bought from me at this scale since last year. So it's been a beautiful ripple of that consistent market that these local farmers can trust as they continue to grow. And now they're expanding their markets in other areas as well, too. They might be also selling to restaurants now and also be selling to some of the members at the Hilo Food Hub who may buy it to turn it into their turmeric, elixirs or add it to their any kind wonton. So the beautiful ripples are far exceed what we could even have imagined.
Richard, tell us about forming an alliance between your Hamakua Springs and your modern day Ahupua'a and Ho'ola farms.
We dedicated 174 acres of the 498 acres that we own to the modern day Ahupua'a. But we had a big gap. We had some resources and we were looking for how do we utilize this resource. So when I met Emily and started to understand what it is they're doing, it looks like a good fit. So we've got 3 springs on our property. We have deep soil, the Hamakua deep soil. We generate our own electricity and we have the same mindset. What are we going to do for future generations? Like what they're doing. I was wishing for something like that to put on our land to utilize our resources. It seems like there's a lot of things we can work together. It's just amazing. So I'm really excited about this.
I think there's so much to be gained in shared knowledge and experience and resources. And we're much better together and we can do hard things together. And I just really appreciate Richard's approach to caring and wanting to find ways to utilize his land to be part of a generational project. And I think those are the kind of partnerships that we're interested in looking at being a part of as well, and helping to foster those kind of healthy generational relationships as we move forward with the land. So it makes a lot of sense for us to be part of anything Richard's part of, especially something where we can support the local community and utilize the knowledge that we've gained over the last several years and apply it in a scale that is manageable. And I think it's going to be easy to get started. And I think that's the best part about all this. So we have little things that we need to figure out, but I think it's going to be a beautiful generational project.
I'm a great grandson of Kamahili Nui. So basically, what we're introducing as well is the cultural aspect. So we go back to how things were done many generations ago, and they were looking at, 7 generations into the future, 100 years or more. And that's what Emily folks do. And so we have this unity of vision for the future.
No, I really appreciate that, Richard. And I'm glad that you brought that up. And I think that is such an important aspect and something we can hold space with some of the functionality and the operational support to ensure that things run smoothly and hold space for more of the cultural aspects to continue to be fostered along the way. And I think that you can really help in achieving that. So thank you for sharing.
It occurs to me that when you talk about being what is it, great grandson of Kamahele Nui? If that generation was looking 7 generations into the future, that's about now. So isn't that interesting? And here you are.
That's something.
On and looking even further.
I know. It's amazing, and the bottom line is aloha. Yeah. And aloha is about reciprocity, not so much transactionalism. And what Emily is talking about is reciprocity. It comes together, and we're not only looking for Hawaiians, we're looking for everybody who calls Hawaii home. It's very inclusive.
I think we're being solutionary within our community. We are finding solutions to simple problems and supporting our community in real ways. And that is what we do at Ho'ola Farms.
It's not what you say, it's what you do. And it's not very complex. actually, when you break it down to its simplest components, it's not very complex. It's common sense, at least common sense from the folks generations ago.
Not everyone thinks about that, which is why maybe we're in some of the positions we're in, but it's great to see that that is all continuing.
I had a thought, it made me smile about Richard and my relationship and our friendship over the last 2 years. And it really has started and unfolded in just discussing what the next right step is. And we've just continued to have these conversations about what the next right steps could be and how that could work together. And it makes me smile to be here today and having this conversation today and know that we're going to continue to have the conversation, but then actually take steps to do the next right step. And that will continue to lead us to do the next right thing. And I'm just grateful for Richard to be present and be part of his steps along the way as well. So mahalo, grateful.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Emily. That was really interesting hearing about what you're doing with Ho'ola Farms and all the important and interesting projects that are coming out of there. And thank you everyone for watching. We will be back in 2 weeks with another episode of Richard Ha's vlog. Ahui ho.